and I'm from the Wirral, and I'm a singer-songwriter.
Take me far across the ocean.
Well, I've always loved to sing, and in 2013 I bought a guitar to learn to play. It collected dust for 2 years. In August 2016, when I did learn to play guitar, I started putting chords to my songs, poems that I'd written. Yeah, and then just tried to create songs and make music.
Wandering thoughts that lit my life for a while stop in paradise. For a while stop in paradise.
I was sitting in a call centre as my job, you know, a dead-end job basically, but when you're 21 and you still don't know what's happening. I remember sitting there and I just remember looking out the window. It was a lovely sunny day. I was thinking, I could not do this for the rest of my life. I could not do this. And I remember reading a quote that said, find your passion and it'll lead you to your purpose. Thinking about it, my passion is to sing. I love to sing. I was like, right, I need to figure out a way how I'm gonna do it, you know? And I wrote a song called Life's a Dream, and I remember sitting there thinking, right now my life is just a dream, you know? Yeah, so that's where it began, and I always remember sitting in that twizzly chair, looking out the window, thinking, I've got to do something about this now. So my very first musical influence was Britney Spears. I was like, I want to be like you, I want to be a pop star. She was. And then I've got early memories of like Pink being very influential. There's baby videos of me like yay big singing Patsy Cline, which my mum always remembers to tell me about. I love like Simon Garfunkel, putting records on, and you know that old vibe, like 60s, 70s type music. I guess that's why I picked guitar as well, because it's like a lovely sound, like Dire Straits vibes. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. So my dad used to have a record player in the lounge, and some nights we would just switch the telly off and just go through the records. He had like Vangelis, Queen, Kraftwerk. He had loads of cool albums, Simon Garfunkel. And yeah, we would just sit and talk about the music and enjoy it. And it really sort of sparked the inspiration, you know, doing that. Yeah, I reckon a massive part of it was from sitting and listening, and you just become in awe of it, you know. And I just had this fire inside of me that just wanted to do it and create and just be musical and have that feeling that I'd get when I'd listen to music. You know, I wanted to feel that by doing it myself and sharing it to other people. For me, I'm not constantly writing. It's sort of like you'll have a burst of inspiration or something will happen. I have wanted to write about sort of things earlier on in my life, but I don't know, I'm just haven't yet. So sort of like in the moment as you go. But my new EP, like these songs, 2 of them have been around for a year. One of them has been around since like 2020, so that's like 6 years ago. But you forget about you writing them as well. And you come across a songbook that you just forget you have, and then you find it and you're like, oh, I forgot I wrote that. When I sing, I like to spread joy and positive vibes and happiness, and the higher vibrational songs is what I'm aiming for. I do write sad songs as well, I just don't play them that often. Unless I'm really miserable and go, this is the time to sing this song. When I look back at the songs that I've written, it's part of like, it is a journey, you know. So like I've got a song called Become of Me, which was a realisation for me where I was, you know, sat in my family home looking out my bedroom window, and I just like took in everything that was happening. And I just remember looking at myself in the mirror and being like, this is me. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a story to myself and my own journey. I did a gig a couple of weeks ago and someone actually said to me, oh, you sing words that I wish I could say. So I guess we all relate.
Smell like jumper coming close to me, and all I see is what's become of me.
When I went busking was definitely the time I realised people connected to it, because they would applaud me and say, oh, I love that song. I guess just over gigging and doing my open mic nights and people actually asking for my songs. Like there's a breakup song in there, and I remember a guy had a breakup and every time he saw me he'd say, Helen, play that song.
If I am ever lost, I will think of the days when you were there. In every
2017, 18, 19, I was just basically learning, you know, the ropes. I had a few songs. 2020 I released my first album and I was playing my songs more, because I learned lots of covers at first to be able to, you know, actually go out and perform, busk and gig and stuff. And 2020 it'll be when I was first sort of going out solo with my album. Lyrics always first, because I always just find myself jotting it down, or a poem, or I never really wrote like a song, if that makes sense. I would write down what I was feeling or what had happened or something, and I'd always try and say it in like a poetic way. I'd write it, sing, try and create a melody, and then the guitar would always be last. I would always struggle with the guitar because, again, not played it for that long. On this new EP, I really love Whole Lot of Love, because again I've had people say like they can connect to it, and it's a pretty basic, gentle song, but it has a really nice message.
so give a little love, little love, little love. Give a whole lot of love. So give a little love, little love, little love.
Like I said before, my songs are a lot about love, and I often refer to myself as a big love bubble. I just wanted to create more love, and you know, by the term whole lot of love is making it whole for everyone, and little love, little love, little love. So it's gone from little love to a whole lot of love. So it's like creating more love for me, you, everybody, the world. Everyone, planet, yeah, the trees, the plants, the bees. So markets are just a lot more relaxed. I see it as a busk, really. You know, practice new songs, have a chat with people and stuff, sort of take my time. Gigs are more a performance, you know, that I'm putting on and get everybody going, and, you know, typically it's a Friday or Saturday night, so people want to have a dance, have a party, have a sing-song, so it's a lot more of an upbeat sort of Freddie Mercury set vibe. That's what it felt like last night. Like this with guitar, woo! And then open mic nights are, yeah, it just depends, I guess, on the crowd and who's there and the energy of the room, I guess. A lot of my songs come from actually meditating, you know, from being still and just being with myself in the moment. My song, Me and My Guitar, actually came to me. I played at a festival in 2022, and I remember saying, I really want to write a song about me and my guitar. And then I played at the same festival in 2023, still hadn't written it. And then I was home maybe like a few weeks later, and I was ill in bed, and I was feeling so sorry for myself. I was like, oh. And then it just came to me out of nowhere.
Here in the moment, open up your heart. Can you feel the passion from me and my guitar? Me and my guitar.
I think sometimes when you plant seeds that you want to write a song about something, it can take a little bit of time, and then it can just come out of nowhere, and you find yourself writing a song on a donut bag. I believe if someone comes in, you just have to write it down. And then other times I've had like a bit of a verse there or a little bit of something here, and on another page just another like quote that I've wrote, and then I've just put them all together because they're sort of like the same theme, and then voila, there's a song. It's a really great place for live music. I think since obviously COVID happened and loads of bars shut, a lot of live music stopped. But, you know, 6 years later, it's pretty much picking back up again, and there's loads of local musicians and there's so much talent on the Wirral. That's what I found from doing my open mic nights. You know, I've met loads of people and doing the same thing as me, and, you know, collaborated with some of them and stuff. So the thing I enjoy the most about hosting open mics is that you never know who's going to walk through the door. It's always a surprise. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally anybody. And like I said before, there's just so much talent, and I just think it's amazing when someone just walks in and does their thing, you know. I'm in awe of it. I love it. It's great. There's a guy come to my open mic night on Tuesday. Just this kid picks up the guitar and whacks out 3 of his own songs, and guitar playing was amazing and his voice was gorgeous, and then his sister got up with him and she sang and he played some guitar, and it was just lovely to see. Yeah, it's beautiful. I look back to myself in 2017. I'd played guitar for a year and I was going to open mic nights, and I would be that really nervous, shaky person, you know, just before I'm about to play. And I think it's really important, because if I didn't have that space to go and practice and perform, I wouldn't be who I am today with my performing. So I think they're really beneficial, and it's great for the community because it connects people. You make loads of new friends. You can chat to people about, you know, guitars and what stuff to use and, you know, where to get it from. And it just creates a really great foundation for beginners, seasoned players, where everyone can come together and talk music. I think by putting live music on somewhere brings people together regardless. Like I said before, we can all connect on a song, we can all take from it a different feeling or a different memory. There's people who live on their own and don't really have family and stuff, and they'll come to the open mic nights and they'll mingle, and you'll see them from when they first walked in to when they leave, and they're like a different person, you know, because they're inspired and full of energy and love and connection. It's important, isn't it? And especially after lockdown and stuff, because it did put a lot of separation into the communities, didn't it? What I've learned the most is self-sabotage doesn't get you anywhere. Self-belief does, you know. What you put into it is what you get out of it. So if it's what you want, go get it. Start now. Start yesterday. Go! Any compliment is amazing. I've had a little girl draw a picture of me once, and she gave it to me, and she wrote a lovely little note on it, and it just like touched my heart, and I was like, oh. Because I think of me being that little girl looking up at people, you know, to be sort of like an inspiration for a younger person is amazing. When people say, you know, they connected to a song or it touched them in their heart, then that's probably the best thing that you can get as a musician. I've never been to Glastonbury, and I've always thought if you play at Glastonbury, then you're winning, aren't you? So Glastonbury would be nice. You know, I have this vision of like just crowds of people, you know, like really cool gigs, festival gigs, like Coachella, imagine, Ibiza. If I could perform with anyone, who springs to mind first? I mean, Simon and Garfunkel would be cool, Prince, Bob Marley would be amazing, Fleetwood Mac would be cool. I'd love to perform with bands, you know, like Kings of Leon vibes. Pink, that would be so cool. I mean, there's so many, isn't there? Can the list be endless? I mean, I met Sandy Tom last year at a festival, and that would have been cool to perform with her. You know, punk rocker. Wish I was punk rocker. She performed in Wirral Festival. Because I performed there as well on the acoustic stage, we managed to wangle me going sort of backstage after a set and said hello to her, and I thought that would have been so cool if I could sing it with her. But I was like a little kid. I was like, oh yeah, can I get your photo? Yeah. The goals are keep writing more songs. They're on the tip of my tongue at the minute, new songs. Play more gigs in new venues, meet more creative people, maybe do some collaborations with other musicians. I think that would be cool. I mean, and I'd love to be in a band. Like a Helen Delamere band though, just doing all originals. I'm actually helping a guy try and release 20 albums on one day. 20 albums that he's written. And he's trying to get a Guinness World Record for it as well. I'm doing the vocals for one of the albums, which should be released sort of August, September. I've got a cool originals gig on the 13th of June in Little Sutton called The Old Red Lion, I think. But I'll be posting it on socials. It's all originals. And in September, I'll have to double check the date. I think it's the 26th. On a Saturday, I'm going to have another All Originals gig in the Inspire Community Cafe on Breck Road, I think it is. So I'm really pushing Bandcamp this year because I'm going to release my music on there first. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm trying to get more videos out this year as well. But you can listen to all my music that's released so far on all major music vendors. Facebook and Instagram are my main socials that I use. But yeah, Bandcamp is going to be the best way. Check out my EP, and if you like my songs, you know, share them, spread the love, and if you think someone else might like and relate to a song, then show them. And if you want to come to one of my gigs, check out my socials. If you're a musician and you want to come to my open mic nights, please do. Just get in contact with me if any questions or anything. Just say hello. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of editing and I apologise for that.